It's a great big world out there, and I really think that everybody's life is trying to find their place in that big world. Whether it's writing a song, building a car, playing your guitar, writing a book, drawing a picture, being a parent, being a husband or a wife. Everybody's journey involves that big picture. Where do I belong in that great big world out there? My life has been a roller coaster. Ups and downs, trials and errors. I'm always on that search for what defines me. As the quarantine lifted and people started getting back to work, I took on a job of being a session musician at Reel to Reel Studios in Fenton. Marshall Block, who ran the studio, he posted the pictures after a session one day. Seeing me in a picture like that mortified me. My stomach had become to the extent that it looked like I was carrying a bowling ball in my shirt. I'd stopped doing DDP yoga during the lockdown as depression set in and fears of everything going on in the world. I ate like garbage, and most of the time was spent on the couch watching movies, playing video games, binge watching Netflix, and eating junk. That picture was the last slap in the face I needed to find the person I was when I first walked through the door of the MWO back in 2015. I started eating better, I got the DDP Yoga app, and I went to work. I was determined to become in better shape than I ever was. It was time to let it all go, to cast the weight off of my shoulders and come back to life in a more energetic, positive, hopeful way. I reached out to Jason at the MWO and told him what I felt and told him that I miss wrestling and that I want to come back and do right. I want to come back as myself, not as a character, not as a gimmick. I want to be Todd Gilbert in the MWO. Whether that is managing or wrestling or whatever, I wanted to return and be better than I was before.
You know, this was something that he had been talking about for a while. Kind of reinventing himself as himself. Kind of shed the whole Simon Page gimmick and be who he truly is, just in another form and realm of live entertainment. You know, we all know Todd Gilbert, the singer-songwriter and the guy on stage and in music videos and things like that. And we knew Simon Page as the professional wrestling manager, the guy that orchestrated one of the most successful factions ever and has had his hand in just about every different aspect of this business. So when you combine the two, you know, I had a feeling that when he left the MWO that it was not going to be a permanent thing, because he still has so much more he wants to do.
For the longest time, I was stuck on the one thing you do defines who you are. I was in music and only music, so I was a musician. That's the only thing I focused on. Then that went bad and I got into DDP yoga and focused on that. And that kind of went by the wayside. Then I got into professional wrestling and focused on only that. That ended, and I kept jumping from thing to thing, not realizing that each and every thing I was doing was a piece of me in the first place. And I realized I didn't need to be one specific thing. I didn't need to be just a musician. I didn't need to be just an artist. I didn't need to be just a wrestler. I was Todd Gilbert. I was myself, and every one of those pieces builds the person I am. So the brand, so to speak, isn't Todd the musician. It's not Todd the writer or Todd the artist or Todd the wrestler or Todd the manager. It's just me. Walking through the door of the MWO was a little scary, but exciting. I was coming back a different person. Still me, but learning so much in the time away. I came back with a fresh perspective and a new appreciation for life and what professional wrestling did for people.
Him coming back as himself, I think that's fantastic. I think that Todd Gilbert is enough of a character to where he doesn't really need to go out there and be Simon Page. He doesn't have to be something that he's not, because he's already larger than life.
That's what Todd should have been doing all along. You know, and instead of trying to be someone he wasn't, where he was just uncomfortable as that, Todd coming back as himself. Because, I mean, what better story? You know, what better story can you have than, you know, someone who overcomes that adversity and somebody who, you know, triumphs in the end despite all of the roadblocks that have been put up in front of them. I mean, to me, that's what he should have been doing all along.
He's someone who can certainly get a message to people. And it's good because NWO has a lot of fans who probably also have certain personal issues, personal handicaps, things that he would be real, good helping them with, and someone they can look up to. So I think that's a really good thing. And let's just be real about it, right?
Todd had so much story and so many life experiences and adversities that he's overcome to tell the world of the story of Todd Gilbert. And the story of Todd Gilbert is inspiration in itself, and an inspiration to myself as well. And I think everybody that hears his story will benefit from it in some way, shape, or form.
Waiting to present Todd Gilbert, not Simon Page, to the fans was exciting. I was also a little nervous if they would accept me for what I really was doing, if they could forget the other stuff and come along on the ride for what Todd Gilbert was going to do in the world of professional wrestling. I knew this time I was going to do things right. I was going to make a difference.
Probably the thing I like most about Todd is, a lot of people in this world are, I don't want to say they're negative, but a lot of people will tell you why you can't do something, why not. And Todd's always been a person that's like, why can't we do this? Why can't we figure out a way? Why can't we adapt? That's something from the DDP yoga world, but it fits into real life. And Todd's always been really good at setting goals and adapting and doing whatever he needs to do to get the vision in his mind that he wants to get done, whether it's being a character on a professional wrestling show, whether it's putting out an album, whether it's doing a podcast. There's nothing Todd can't do if he wants to do it bad enough. And dang, that really speaks to Todd as a person, because Todd's a guy who has every reason to just say, yeah, screw it. I don't want to do this. This is too hard. He has every excuse in the world to not do what he wants to do, and he finds a way to make it happen. It's freaking amazing to me.
No fear. There's no fear in that guy. When he takes a bite out of something, he gets the whole piece every time. And this was no exception. And it was great to watch. Great to watch that change happen. And great to see all the good things that came from it, because, man, he earned it. He absolutely earned it. He put that work in, and he drove himself. And everything that came back to him was well-deserved. And that doesn't always happen. You know, a lot of times you watch people who deserve better have to settle for less, and you see people get everything who really don't deserve it. But finally, this was a time where some recognition was paid to somebody who really did earn it.
I keep forgetting that he has any type of physical ailment or condition of any type, you know. And I mean, how can you think about somebody as having some sort of a disability or whatever you might want to call it, when you got a doctor? I mean, how do you think it feels when a doctor comes to a person when they're in their, when they're young, and says, you're not going to live very long? The only thing that's worse than that is being the parent of a person and hearing a doctor say that. So, they said you're not going to live through your teens or your 20s or whatever. Here he is pushing 100. No, he's 40-ish, 40 years old, in his 40s. And here comes, most people give up on doing anything at 40 anyway. They said, oh, you're not going to walk, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do that. So what does he do? Oh, learns to play drums, learns to play guitars, plays keyboard, and then what? Oh, let's get into wrestling. Hey, why not? They said I couldn't do anything. So it's like you want him to do something, just tell him he can't. Tell him he doesn't have the eyesight to be a pilot, and next thing you know, he'll be flying a 747. Tell him he can't climb Kilimanjaro, and he'll look down at you from the top. That's what this guy's all about. They said he couldn't walk, so he starts jogging. They said you wouldn't be able to walk too, very far into your later years. So he starts running a couple of miles a day, and it becomes a professional athlete. I mean, what more do you want? If that doesn't tell you everything that you need to know about the guy, I can't help you.
There is no other person in my life like Todd Gilbert, and I can't thank him enough for teaching me the things that he's taught me.
He doesn't let anything stop him. He doesn't let muscular dystrophy hold him back. As I've said, I've known him for a decade, but in his life, I know he's overcome so much, and he just continues every day to shine bright and to continue to overcome any obstacle that is in his way.
If ever there's an inspiration for me, would be Todd Gilbert. He has always just pushed ahead, and whether he's aching from the day before, he's always able to just shake it off, know that he's going to be in pain the next day for a little while, and then start right back up doing something else the next day.
That's what my program and my lifestyle is all about, trying to show people that they can overcome the odds if they put the work in and if they believe in themselves. And I think my boy Todd Gilbert, he exudes that times 10.
Right now, I don't know of anybody that's more motivated than Todd Gilbert to really come full circle in a lot of aspects. There's no telling, how many matches Todd has left in the tank, but I do know he's going to run that. He's going to make every attempt to run that engine until it has absolutely no more fuel in it, and it's very inspiring. It's very motivational. It's very moving. It's very, very real.
It doesn't matter what you're born with. It doesn't matter what situations in life may be getting you down. If you do the work, if you don't give up on yourself, your dreams can come true. You may have to work harder than some. You may have to give up more than some. But at the end of the day, as long as you continue to push, as long as you continue to move forward, and you never give up on yourself, your dreams